I'm probably about to make a few people upset. But let me say this right now. This is not a bad movie, okay? It's not. This is not a bad movie. But it's a pretty confusing, divisive one. At least for me. It's one that I really want to love, but just too many problems keep me from being able to call it great or barely even good, because it has a lot of issues, especially towards the end where it just completely flies off the rails. So let's discuss. What's up? What's happening? What's up? What's happening? What's going on? Welcome back to Animation Listeners of Anything and Everything Animation. Here's my review of Krampus. It's good enough for horror fans. If you're not a horror fan, this is not for you. Here's my review. Enjoy. After creating the Halloween classic that is Trick or Treat, which I gave a very glowing review to, and if you guys don't remember, was the big conclusion of this year's 31 Days of Horror, Michael Dougherty decides to bring some terror to the holiday season with the frightening urban legend of the reverse Santa Claus of ancient folklore known as, well, Krampus. And I've been pretty indecisive on this one for a while now, ever since it came out in 2015, even though I didn't see it until 2017. On one hand, it's very creative, it's very well made, and has some excellent practical effects. Krampus especially has some amazing practical effects. But then it's also very slow, has very cliche, boring characters. The acting, even from Toni Collette, is very meh. And the writing is very eyebrow-raising, and at some points, straight up cringeworthy. Like, I don't hate this movie by any means, and I don't hate these characters, but it just feels like characters that we've seen in horror movies a dozen times before, you know? The skeptic, the father, the mother, like, we've seen these cliches before. Heck, the old woman that has some sort of tie to this myth, or this supernatural force. We've had that in a dozen other horror movies. It's nothing new. Not to mention this one also has a nice bit of meanness to it. And sure, you can argue, well, it's kind of like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The fact that it's a big family that doesn't like each other very much, but deep down, they all care about each other very much. I get what they were trying to go for here, but here, it's just too mean. Like, almost this entire movie, I was just sitting there like, just make up already. For fuck's sake. Like, the characters and the family in this movie are frustrating. There's some funny lines here and there, but I just was not a fan of these characters at all. Oh, and also, there's no kills. Well, okay, there's one off-screen kill in a car, but that's it. Because the actual kills in this movie, big spoiler here, are just captures. And you should already know that if you watch the Dead Meat kill count. It's a capture count, not a kill count. Because there's only one actual death in the entire movie, and it's completely off-screen. The rest are just people getting captured by Krampus and his very many, many tricks. From the giant clown, to the gingerbread man, to, well, Krampus himself, to the elves, which look more like goblins. Like, It's by no means a bad movie, and it does have some great scenes, but unfortunately it's just not as great as Trick or Treat, or even close to that. Or some of the other Christmas horror movies like Silent Night, Deadly Night, Silent Night 2012, The Mean One, or Black Christmas. This one is for horror fans only. If you're not a horror fan, don't watch this movie because you are going to hate it. It's for horror fans only, and even then, in my opinion, it's a one and done. But if you're one of the people that actually loves and cherishes this movie, that's perfectly okay. This is nothing more than my personal opinion, and this movie just didn't work for me personally. And that's perfectly okay. We're all allowed to have different opinions as long as we're not a bunch of Krampuses in the comments. So, yep, final verdict for this movie is going to be a disappointing 6 out of 10. It's one of the weaker ones we've looked at in this marathon, and that's a huge shame, because it had a lot of potential, it has some great moments, but the whole package, it's a mess that's barely even passable. So, Yeah, a bit of a bummer review. I'm sorry, but this one's just not for me. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please don't be a Krampus in the comment section, and I do not blame you if you like this movie. It just doesn't work for me personally. That's all I got, and that's the only other review I can get done tonight because, well, like I said, I'm starting to fall asleep. So, well, like I said in the other review, I'm starting to fall asleep. I can't talk today. Damn. Okay, I'm done. Before I start rambling on any further, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time for the first time watch of Silent Night, Bloody Night from 1972. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be bad. I've never even heard of it. I've never heard anyone talk about it, so this is the most blind of first-time watches you can possibly imagine. See you then.